guys, so I was tagged a few nights ago by Acting Our Wage to participate in the debt-free future tag video. This video was actually started by FrugalChicLife. She posted it about a week ago, and as soon as I saw her video, I immediately wanted to do the tag. I know I'm debt-free, so I know that some of these questions seems like they wouldn't really apply to me, but I really wanted to participate in it anyway. So I figured I'd answer these questions kind of like in a before-after style, to kind of show you guys like what my thought process was whenever we were getting out of debt and kind of like where we are today. So the question is, when did you start your debt-free journey? I personally started it probably about July-ish of 2012, and I'd heard about Dave Ramsey, and I tried to convince my husband to do the plan. He wasn't really on board, and so for about a year I flopped pretty bad trying to do the budget all by myself, trying to pay off debt, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't until he got on board, which was like June, July of 2013, about a year later, that things really started happening and really started moving for us. Second question is, how long do you think it'll take you to get out of debt? At the time, when my husband finally got on board, I thought it would take about 2 or 3 years to pay off all of our debt. We had about $40,000 in consumer debt, and I just tried to like calculate how much money we could put towards that debt every month, and you know, depending on that month and expenses, I calculated anywhere, again, for 2 to 3 years. It wound up only taking about 9 months because he sold his motorcycle and his truck and got like super gazelle, and just was able to eliminate half of our debt pretty quick. And so obviously that takes off a lot of time that you're not having to pay on the debt. So it only took us about 9 months. It also says, if you're comfortable doing so, briefly explain what your debt consists of. Well, at the time, it consists of a motorcycle, my husband's truck, my car. We had a couple of little small credit cards. We had a very, very small student loan debt, and then we had one kind of bigger credit card that had kind of a high balance on it. Whenever he sold his truck and his motorcycle, again, that immediately eliminated half of the debt, and really the snowball was like rolling very quickly, so we were able to really just plow through the rest of our debt. Number 3, do you plan to celebrate or reward yourself once you're debt free? You know, at the time I remember thinking that I really did want to do something like, oh, when the debt's gone, we'll go on a little trip, or you know, go to some really nice restaurant or something. But to be honest with you, like once that moment came that we were debt free, that honestly was reward enough. Like it truly, truly was. That was such an incredible moment for us because, and I don't know if I've ever really shared this before, but when we were going through our debt-free process, at the same time, we really were wanting to sell our house. And so as we were selling things and as we were pulling money aside from our paychecks that would be going towards the debt, we decided to start stockpiling that money instead of paying off the debt, because we were wanting to sell the house all like at the same time. And I was just fearful that we owed too much money on the house and it wasn't worth what we owed on it, so that when we went to go sell it, that we would be upside down on the house, if that makes any sense. And so we started stockpiling money because I just wanted to have a nice little emergency fund saved up for whenever we sold the house. If we needed cash, it was there, or moving expenses or whatever. Well, we kept doing that, we kept doing that, we kept making minimum payments on everything. And so by the time our realtor was going to be coming over like on a Wednesday to take pictures of the house, to list it online, my husband and I both just felt really uncomfortable like pushing forward with that plan, because we still had all of this debt, but by that time we had already saved up all the cash in our bank account in order to pay off the debt. So it just really didn't make sense that we were in debt still, but we had the money to pay it off, but we're trying to sell the house at the same time, and we just felt like we were trying to do too many things at once. And it was kind of also like we were trying to do Dave's plan our way, and it just wasn't really working. And so my husband finally was like, you know what we should do? He's like, cancel the realtor on Wednesday, like we'll push it off a few more weeks. And he's like, let's just pay off all of our debt right now. And my heart just was like, I'm like, are you sure? Like, oh my gosh, I don't know, because it's just so much money, you know, that you just save and save and save. And it was about $14,000 that we wound up saving to pay off the 2 last debts that we had, which was my car and then a credit card. And so he just kind of like sat at our bar at our old house, turned on the computer, started going to our bank account, and I was sitting there kind of like, I don't know, are you sure? You know, kind of nervous. And he went immediately to the bank account. He's like, this is what we need to do. We just need to pay off this debt. We need to be done with it. I don't know why we're playing around with it so much. Let's just pay off the debt and then we'll worry about selling the house later. And so we did. We sat there, and first it was my car, and then it was the credit card, and then we were debt free. So it just seemed like in that moment, nothing is sweeter. So I don't know, like we just didn't really find the need to celebrate, if that makes any sense. Like I'm sure we wound up doing something later on and, you know, whatever, like going out to eat or something, but there was no vacation, there was no anything. Paying off the debt was reward enough. Number 4, what does your debt-free future look like? At the time, I remember just wanting so desperately to have my little list of bills. Well, actually at the time it was a large list, shrunk to be about this much, just the mortgage and then a few utilities, and that was it. That's all I really saw in the future. I was just so sick of getting our paychecks and immediately sending them out to debt and car notes and credit card payments and all sorts of just junk. I was just so sick of it. And so that's what I was really seeking, was once the debt was gone, just having like 5 bills a month to pay, and then that was it. And just being free of just all that extra responsibility. Like I was just so over it. And so now that we are debt free, that's exactly what's happened. We have like, our bills are just so minimal. And what's fun is that I wasn't doing it at the time, but now I have all these sinking funds, and that list is like this long. And so that's what I start to get to put money into every single month. So it's almost like I'm still making payments on things, but I'm making payments to myself instead of a bank. And I'm not having to like lose money every single month in interest or, you know, whatever. I'm able to put money like that into my sinking funds, and it's just such an incredible feeling. Number 5, what lessons will you pass on to your children about money and debt? What I really want my son and future children to know about money is that you have to work for it. Work is very, very important. There were times where I never thought that I would be like that parent that made my kids do chores and stuff like that, because I don't know, like it just never really crossed my mind that that was an important lesson, that it's not me just getting help from him, it's him knowing that he needs to work in order to earn his allowance, commission, you know, whatever you call it. And that's one of the biggest things, is that I really need to teach him how to work and save his money if he wants to buy something, and buy a car and pay cash for it, and things like that. Those are the most important money lessons I think I can teach him at the age that he's at now, kind of like within the next 10 years. Another one about debt is that he can't borrow his way through life. You know, he's got to be able to earn money and pay for it up front. And that's the biggest lesson I think that I really want him to learn. So that's it for my questions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to tag SlowSteadyWin, Gadget Girl, and our family of 4. And I hope you guys do this video. I'd love to see your responses. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.